So how do you follow up one of gaming's earliest successes? With some slight graphical improvements in a hard mode apparently. Super Mario Bros. 2 was released in Japan not long after the first game, and has gained a reputation in and out of the Mario community as being hard, if not the hardest official Mario game. That's where most people will leave it off, but I would like to go a tad deeper today, as I do think this game has some more merit to it, and dare I say, does a few things better than the original. I'll start with the basic, more obvious improvements. Graphics have seen slight improvements to the first game. The ground is a more dirt texture, though to me it looks more like glowstone from Minecraft. I don't know if anyone else sees that. The clouds and skies also have faces, along with super mushrooms, making them look how they normally do. Another improvement is this is the first Mario game to have special worlds. Upon beating the game, you gain access to World 9, and if you're feeling even crazier, you can beat the game an additional 7 more times to unlock Worlds A through D. That's a total of 5 special worlds and 20 extra levels. Special levels have become a Mario staple by today, and their origin can be seen in this game. Two-player mode has been dropped from this game and replaced with a Luigi mode. Luigi has a much higher jump than Mario, but his traction is much worse, making precise jumping with him very difficult. I can easily say while Luigi being more fleshed out gameplay-wise is a nice touch, he is way more of a hard mode in this already hard game. With that, let's get the big topic out of the way first. When you think Super Mario Bros. 2 or Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels that's known outside Japan, you think of the difficulty. And yes, the game is hard, and if back in the day I had somehow played this game in the 80s, I'd be pulling my hair out. Let's look at this through a modern context. Most versions of this game allow you to use save states, meaning you can make your own checkpoints at any point of the level, making game overs almost impossible, and allowing you to retry sections of levels easily. We now also live in a post-Mario Maker world, where people have made fan levels leagues harder than even the worst this game throws at you. And people love that. Showcases of some of the hardest Mario Maker levels get many views and tons of players testing out their mettle. And let me just say, if you're one of those people who have beaten the hardest Mario Maker has to offer, this game will probably offer nothing to you. With Super Mario Bros. 2, you have to know what you're getting into. If you like a challenge and still really enjoyed Mario Bros. 1, you'll like this game. If you're looking for more Super Mario Bros., you'll find it here, especially in the early worlds, but the difficulty and level design may be off-putting. If you don't like Super Mario Bros. And you don't like a challenge, then you're not going to like this game. Simple as that. It should be noted that in Japan, this game was marketed as a game to be played if you had mastered the original. Even in the manual tells you to do the infinite one-up glitch, which can be performed on the first enemy in the game. So even this game sets you up with what your expectations should be. What a strange sequel. This game feels like less of a sequel and more of a bonus mode for the original. I chalk it up to Nintendo not being sure what people would really want from a Mario sequel, and video game sequels are not as common as you would think back then. And if they did exist, they were usually stay pretty close to the original. Look at Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. Technically, Miss Pac-Man is a sequel, but just Pac-Man with a few changes. You could change Miss Pac-Man's sprite, and most people at a glance would not be able to tell the game is not Pac-Man. Speaking of enemies, this game does add many. All previous enemies return, some now have a chance of acting differently. Hammer Bros can now walk towards you, and bloopers will now appear in the overworld. Piranha Plants also have a more aggressive red variation. Levels can also have environmental hazards. Technically, the first had these too in the form of lava and fire sticks, but lava acts no differently than a bottomless pit. The new hazard is harsh wind, which really only gave me trouble in one of the levels, where my jumps had to be more precise. All level variety types return from the last game, with a few weird palette swap levels appearing in World 9. Underground and sky themed bonus areas also return, though a lot more rare than before. All levels use harsh enemy placements to increase difficulty, and many jumps will require a leap of faith or enemy bouncing in order to not die. Some levels also use hidden blocks, which must be found in order to progress. Warp zones are also back, but cannot take you remotely as far as they used to. They're also much harder to find without a guide. Some will even take you back and force you to replay already beaten worlds. The fire flower also returns, functioning as the same as before. However, now I would call it more of a luxury item. You will probably only have one for a while if you're not a Mario expert, or using save states. Music is also the exact same as before, with no new tracks or sound effects, unless you count the before mentioned wind, but that's not really much of a sound effect. The story is also the same. The manual claims that this game takes place in an alternate reality where Mario had a much harder journey. I doubt we will ever be seeing this more brutal Mario World alternate universe ever again, so enjoy it in this game while it lasts. If you remove that detail, however, this game's story would be exactly the same as the first game's. This video is more likely going to be shorter than the Super Mario Bros. Review. That's because this game really does feel like Super Mario Bros. But with some extra whistles. If there was a way to make Super Mario Bros. World 8 flow into this game, World 1, it would feel like a continuation and not a harsh beginning starter difficulty. I'm not sure where to put this part either, but I thought it was worth mentioning that the 8-4 castle has a fake Bowser fight a bit of the ways in. Not really anything special, but I think it's neat. And you could technically be classified as a pseudo mini-boss, a first in Mario. As before, I want to make a note about the All-Stars version of the game. All changes to Super Mario Bros. Still apply here. Graphics have been upgraded, more enhanced music, sound. The save feature returns while the level gameplay has stayed the same. You now only need to beat the game once to access the A through D levels, and for that reason alone, I recommend the All-Stars version. There's only one part in the All-Stars version that is worse than the original. In 8-3, which is similar to the first game's 8-3, there are brick walls in the background, and there's a certain later part in the level where you must find hidden blocks. They're easier to spot in the original because for some reason the All-Stars version removes the background walls, making it harder to get an idea of where the hidden blocks are. Just a minor nitpick, as by the time you will even reach this part, I'm sure you've already committed to beating the game, and probably won't register as it being that annoying. I sure really didn't register for me. With that, I'll give my closing comments. By today's standards, Super Mario Bros. 2 is an underwhelming sequel that plays more like an expansion pack of levels that did not make it into the original final game. Lost levels, if you will. And is too close to the first game and does not bring anything substantially new to the table. I am inclined to agree. However, I feel as if the caveat is that in 2025, you know what you're getting into when playing this game. So even if you are playing this game in the first place, you probably already get some enjoyment from it. If you have avoided this game, it's because you know that you're not going to like it. This is a very cut and dry situation. Super Mario Bros. 2 The Lost Levels is an admirable attempt to continue the Super Mario Bros. Success, at least at a time when games were still growing and industry standards and community expectations were not set in stone. And for that, this game will always exist as an interesting entry in the Mario series. Thanks for watching my review. I apologize for the gap in uploads between this and the Super Mario Bros. Review. I was distracted and was on a family trip, but now I'm back home, and next time we'll be looking at Super Mario Bros. 2 USA. Goodbye for now.